Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, tonight we're talking about Sophia God, Isis, and the Magdalene, and the new codes for core healing. And this is going to be more up my alley right now. There's so much that is awakening. There's such a potent wave of expansion, and we can call it energy, we can call them downloads, or whatever it is, but there is this stretching that is taking place that I want to talk to Suzanne more about. And I know she has a perspective and she's very tuned in into the facilitation that is occurring for those of us who are open and ready and willing to receive it. So it's going to be a powerful call. We'll get into live Q&A later. The whole call is going to be a transmission. I feel it already. Suzanne already named it. I know she'll name it again. And y'all may want to start checking out the special offer now because it is a one-on-one session with Suzanne plus other just amazing, again, facilitation. And again, I feel us in this big wave, and the timing for this is just so beautiful. So if you're not familiar with Suzanne, I'll let you share more about what she's bringing and who she is, but she's just an amazing healer of healer. And she's an executive intuitive. She trains motivated intuitives, healers, and therapists and coaches to be in their most empowered intuitive discernment so they can lead with spirit and live their divine mission. But what really gets amplified for me and Suzanne, as she does that with such grace and such beauty, is this connection to the divine that she carries within and to the divine feminine that is so uniquely transmitted through her. So it's incredible what she brings in. And I hope that you all take the opportunity to receive today's transmission. Stay on the call. It's profound what's coming through. We're going to get into a transmission activation, a channel later as well. And of course, we'll take a live Q&A. So we'll get into all of that. And Suzanne, with all that housekeeping and introduction, wow, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, John. It's such a blessing to be here. Thanks so much.
So let's dive in. Sophia God, Isis, the Magdalene, the new codes. What is coming through you? What are you aware of?
Well, it's been coming for a few months now, and it's literally a lot of it is just crystallized in the last month or two. But what's offered, I want to say to everyone that not only during the channeling later, there's energy being channeled this whole time. There's such a blessing over this group, and I love you all. And there's just an opening. If you are ready, if you're feeling it, if you want it, simply, I'd like to just start saying, maybe take a few breaths and tell your higher self, tell your heart, tell spirit, yeah, I will take what is here. And let me explain a little bit what that is. It's core Sophia God light energy. And it's so new. I'm still learning what it is, but it's been being channeled through me, like I said, in recent months, like down to the bone marrow and down to the core. And I just have this knowing that it's for many of us, for healers, for intuitives, for those who, especially like I work with a lot of Essenes who like had that in other lifetimes or have an affiliation with the mystique of the Essenes. That has been very, it's almost like we're radicalizing it in this time. And I have just a knowing that that's part of what the Essenes were always cultivating and channeling and filtering through themselves. It's this divine feminine, Sophia God, goddess light that's opening to us now. I mean, it's here. And just a lot of us have become such clear vessels. That's what I'd like to say. That there's an opening tonight for even more. If you feel the vibration, if you're like, yeah, I want some of that, that's what they're showing. Like, let yourself tune in to her grace, to her light. It's incredibly healing and transformative. And we'll get into more of that later. But it's kind of hot off the presses for me. Like I said, this first part of this year, as I've peeled away so many layers of old trauma and old blocks to be able to like open my heart to this. So,
Mm.
whew, yeah, I just feel for me and for those I train, the healers I train, it's like I know I've been getting enough messages. It's going to transform how we do energy healing. And that's just beginning. Um, we work with the Magdalene, but it's already being shown that there's like a keen awareness that's going to bring new systems for this kind of light, and I think it's going to be pretty powerful. So.
Mm. So you speak of training people to work with this. What are the benefits of the people that you work with directly in receiving these initiations or codes?
They receive a lot of attunements by the various ascended masters who are with us, Mother Mary and Isis and Mary Magdalene and Quan and others. The benefits are always helping us uh, bring from our Akashic records light codes and knowing and like opening the channels to the innate wisdom that each of you have as a healer, as an intuitive. Like it opens the portals and it helps anchor it into this reality essentially. So like that's the technical thing, and essentially I help women and men come into their giftings and their channeling abilities through that process. So they come into a deeper knowing of who they are as an intuitive, as a person, but as a gifted sharer of all of this light. So it's so rewarding because I get to just watch the blossoming of so many different kinds of skills, because it could be channeling in all kinds of ways, not just hands-on healing, but art and channeling texts and things like that. So I guess the benefit, that's a long way to say the benefit is coming into your gifting that you're here to manifest and share and teach yourself.
Yeah, and I find also that those that are being called, even in resonance to this call with this opportunity, again, there's a transmission happening here, but there's a quickening that's happening before. There's been other modalities, I'll call it in the past, that said, okay, we're going to bring you into your gifts. We're going to upgrade your potential. We're going to demonstrate how you can embody it. But I really feel in this stretching energetically and spiritually that we're in, that the acceleration of our capacity to function at that potential and to understand its purpose is really getting extremely crystal clear for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. It's very gratifying for me even also, but like people are a lot, even just this week. I don't know if you're experiencing that this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
There's 30 dropping in. Like I know what I'm here for, literally. I've had a number of people sharing that. So hallelujah to that.
But let's drop into this because this is so excited what you're bringing through and what you're transmitting. And you and I have been speaking over the last several few months, and just what's accelerating and the potency is just so exciting. And let's take everybody in. And I love it if you can talk about the Temple of Isis and how that relates to our call today. And then let's dive into that.
Okay. Dive in. Do you mean do a channel after that?
Well, you did mention that we're going to cast the Temple of Isis over this transmission. So yeah.
Okay. So let me explain. When I teach and go into the Akashic records, it's a very sacred process. And so I was shown to do that tonight. And again, as a way for you, all listeners, to feel very secure, opening your heart portal and opening your system in perhaps a new way or just in an expanded way. So why don't we just experience it, and I'll kind of talk it through as we go. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah. So Mother Goddess Isis is a beacon for us all to help us remember our core power. I mean, all of them are, but she's here tonight to say, will you remember at a deeper level? Will you let yourself expand into that? That's perhaps the stretching you're talking about. So she's going to attune you in your solar plexus to these core codes that are yours. I want to explain they are yours. They're not, this is not a universal thing like one size fits all. It's from your Akash. So if you wish to, if you would take a few breaths and close your eyes and allow your vision, your sense, your intuition to know a gorgeous, ethereal pyramid that is indeed associated with your Egyptian connection, with our Egyptian lineage, that is energetically with her overlight, creating the most sacred space that is only for you, that covers your connection with the divine, with the source. And her and our intention is to help you ground first. So imagine this pyramid that has formed around you, around your body. Imagine it plugging into the earth grid, and allowing you to connect and be plugged in with Mother Gaia for this time we are together. And we're going right to the big good stuff. There's going to be, if you can imagine your book of Akashic Records, your book of life in front of you, your heart and your soul have brought you here for this. Know that. And the book of life that's in front of you is directly connected with your heart of your human experience. And all of this sets you in this love's embrace of light to receive whatever there is for your soul's path, in connection with channeling Sophia, God, light codes. So basically, thank you, John, for bringing that in. There's everyone has been plugged in to his or her own connection with source, and his or her own kind of relegated. This is all pre-planned. This is all planned by the soul to come to this time on the planet, to be here and to start to open in a much more illuminated way the divine feminine goddess light, and as it relates to your own, we'll call it purpose, mission, but your own expansion. Doesn't have to be work related at all. It's the purpose is the expansion. The purpose is the knowing of this other kind of brand of light that's coming through. So I see Isis super tall over all of us, holding us, and you'll receive as is highest and best. And we can go into this in Q&A, John, with others if there are questions about this. I feel like that has set the stage for you to get an alignment tonight.
Beautiful. Wow, this is powerful, Suzanne. You can feel what's flowing through on the call. Y'all, if you want to raise your hand and get into Q&A, we're going to get into in a little bit.
You'll see my hands, everyone. I do a lot of zhuzhing during these, so don't mind my hands.
And as people are raising their hands, and we get to live Q&A here in a little bit, talk to us a little bit more about this affinity light and the mission-driven type of activation that that's calling forward.
Yeah. So I work with a profound soul brother, and we've been Well, he's been showing me a lot about the infinity light of source. And there's there's this new understanding coming through with respect to that. And like in all of my various healings and attunements in recent months, many months, there's been this like massive cycling out of old programming. And I know you all have done a lot of work on that, but tonight, frankly, some of that's going to be happening too. The old programming is literally just getting stripped away, like wires being stripped, like a wire, if you take a thing to a wire. And so the infinity light is cast, I mean, frankly, it's cast over us right now, and whatever you're here to release right now is getting recycled into the infinity light of source. And so I guess like that's not necessarily new to everyone, but there's such a quickening. That's the thing. There's such a quickening in our ability to manifest now and to quickly shift. And what I will say is that as you go forward from tonight, and you become aware of old programs or old thought systems, old energy that is ready to leave, if it's not your practice, if you're not used to doing that, take a moment, take some time to say, I release this to the infinity light of source or light of God. And that will quicken your kind of switching gears into your new thought and programming paradigm. I just think, I mean, let me know if you're seeing that, John, but it's like happening a lot faster now. And I think there's just a call to be on top of it and say, okay, that's out. This is it. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
I see this whole spring, summer, fall period being such a purification, such a refinement period, and what we're choosing, how we're choosing, what compels us even to choose it.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily the personality or the ego that's leading it. There's really this, I'll consider it this mastery that lives inside of us that's
Yeah.
beckoning us forward. And so it's amazing how we're aligning with that.
Mhm. Yeah. It's beckoning you forward. It's almost like, yeah, don't resist it. But
Mm.
you have to kick a lot of stuff out of the way, apparently.
So how are you suggesting for your clients to deal with that compression, the tightness that comes up with the expansion that's really being invited? Because
Mhm.
there's that kind of like, I don't know, and this is uncomfortable, or I don't know where it's taking me, or it feels great for a while, but then you're in the bigness of it and your body's going, wait, hold on a second, I got to catch up, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The body, I mean, I think you just said it's that the body, like our consciousness already asked for this. We've been asking for this for a long time in spirit and as our people form. And yeah, the body is catching up. Um, what do I suggest? I part of it is what I just said and what we're doing
Yeah.
now. I mean, if you, whether or not you already knew Isis, call in this team, call in your team, sit down and one thing I do is ask, okay, what is this? What's underneath this feeling? I've learned to ask what's underneath this feeling of compression or anxiety or whatever it is. Because usually I do need the awareness. And then I mean, sometimes we call in help or we with a person or we do it with our guides, but this cycling, like saying, okay, I release this. I
Mm.
release this and I call in what you want to replace it with. Like that could be anything. Often it's like my divine blueprint is one way to say it, my original divine blueprint, or my source light, or love, divine love. Um, this is all quickening divine blueprint
Mm.
activations. So I
Amazing. Yeah, great advice of what's coming in. And again, just that those awarenesses of learning how to be in relationship as it comes up consciously is wonderful. And again, listening to the body. And the practices, again, these practices right now are so important because we are becoming very proficient creators. And so
Yes. Yeah.
choosing your words, choosing your thoughts, being aware of what's flowing through us,
Yeah.
um, with our intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I keep saying it in client sessions and to myself, because it is kind of instant manifestation. So choose your words. Like, don't say, well, I always do this. Say, I used to do this. I mean, everything, every little thing like that is super important because it is the now moment that where we create everything.
I
And
love
so,
that you bring, and you almost said choose your words carefully and you stopped. And I'm so glad that you stopped. Or maybe I heard that coming because that's like what we typically used to say.
yeah.
But calling for me is like choose your words and your mastery.
Mm,
Choose the words with who you remember that you are. And from that place,
mm.
powerful. What gets
Oh,
integrated. It's
thank
powerful. Deliberately. Yes, Donna, thank you for that.
you.
Um,
Yeah.
Suzanne,
Yes.
can we go ahead and start taking some live Q&A?
Sure. Yeah.
Feeling
Let's
how
get.
powerful this is going to be with y'all. Jill, let's start with you. Welcome, Jill.
Hello, John.
Hmm.
Hello, Suzanne.
Hello, Jill. Nice to see
Wow, guys. I'm gonna do a confirmation
Well,
first,
hey, Joe, hold on
but
a
I'm
second.
also gonna be
Hey,
looking
hey,
for
Joseph,
some direction.
Joseph, give me a second. I'm going to mute you. I called on Jill, so let's go with Jill first, and we'll go to you next, okay? I apologize. Jill, please, the stage is yours.
It's I don't have the words, but it's special to be with you right now, Suzanne. And
Mhm.
my heart is very happy and excited.
Oh, beautiful.
I
So,
was with you with the first time you were on John's show, and it wasn't time yet.
oh,
Mhm.
beautiful.
So, I'm getting ready to go to Egypt with John and possibly you, I hear, or so.
I'm
And
pretty
this
sure.
this has been quite the week for me as well, of dropping away and releasing so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that came to me to ask you now is does anything come to you that I might not even know about that it's
Mm-hmm.
really time for me to release?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. Okay.
Mhm.
We're really in the Isis energy. Okay. Um, yeah. So I'm actually doing some kind of clearing for you with you. Um, so you know about the importance of releasing all self-doubt, and you're doing that very well. And there's a catalyst for that, that's because when you have any doubt, you're in this lack vibration, and it's really, really, really beautiful. I'm going to say beautiful and essential now to keep keep walking forward and letting all these old ways go by walking forward and um, sticking with what you know, because Jill, you have a really keen sense of knowing, and there's you know it, but there you like under the surface there's just been this whole kind of like under the iceberg, underwater, just a whole bunch of doubt. And so actually you're getting a big huge clearing right now of that. And um the empowerment message for you is that that I'm just willing to walk away. So it's not one thing in specific. It's like I'm willing to walk away. I am already doing it. And I hope you're feeling the release, like really from your solar plexus down, because clearly you've made some clear choices for yourself, especially, to go to Egypt, but you've made more than those. That you've made a lot of clear choices. So it's happening. That it's actually happening. So everything we're talking about, just let it keep happening, and practicing movement forward is really key. So whenever you have the nudge, whenever you have the inspiration, keep doing it. Every day there's going to be something kind of new is what I'm getting. Makes sense to you?
Believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Suzanne, as you're sharing that, and Jill, if I may, that was the first thing that came to me as well. It's like, oh, it's continuous, Jill. It's
Hmm.
continuous. It's like there's going to be, but what's also happening, if we want to get kind of poetic with it, is that we're being emptied so we can be filled.
Yes.
Yes.
We're being emptied so we can be filled. But
Yes.
it's really quite, it comes from the place of divinity, though. It doesn't come from a place of lack, or I need to,
Yeah.
I need to like clear something. It's like it's happening just through just your beingness. And I think that's happening a lot. And as we congregate with these energies again in this Isis temple, and we're in a resonant field, it's like it happens. It happens as we immerse ourselves in our awareness of who it is that we're walking with, why it is that we're walking with them, and open to receive as much as we give.
Yes.
Mm.
Can I ask a little addition to that?
Yes.
Because
And
it was,
that's for Suzanne for sure.
yeah. Because as you said, John, sometimes it's happening so rapidly. I would love to get even more exquisite with, if there's any suggestions for getting more exquisite with saying, oh, this is too much. Can you slow it down a little bit without putting any resistance to that?
Yeah. Well, you always can say that. It's perfect. And temperance is something that you're learning, and we all are. Mary Magdalene just stepped in when you stepped back in, Jill.
Mhm.
And there's well, with all of us, this is a good thing to bring up with you, Jill, but for everyone, we want to be very careful and explicit about while this is powerful energy and it's powerful, there is an allowance for softening. This is the divine feminine, after all. This is the feminine that is here to allow us to receive it. Like we are becoming her embodied and receiving. So your question, Jill, is perfect. Yes, ask for it. All of a sudden the energy just softened because it was a lot. And I think you called that in for all of us. And that's exactly it. Like allowing for all of us, allowing this new source code, allow it to be soft. If it's too much, you always have free will. And that's just an overarching message with what we're talking about. We always have free will, and it's happening because you asked for it, and you get to ask for it how you want it.
Mm.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Suzanne.
I don't know if you know, but she loves you very much, the Magdalene, if you know her. Yeah, I think.
Thank you. I always want to call you Alexandria. It's so funny.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense with the libraries and the wisdom, and that's a whole nother story. But you're spot on, Bill. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you, and
Thank you, John.
thank you for calling in
Alexandria.
that grace, because I personally feel it also. The acceleration, the speed, the intensity is like it is full on, and sometimes I don't know how to get off the wave just to give myself a break. And so to consciously request that grace, and know that we won't drop the ball because we're pausing for a second and recovering. It's definitely a great reminder for me, and an invitation for everybody on this call as well.
Yeah, be the allower. Be the one who allows it, receives it. That's what they're saying. Be the one who, that's what you're doing. We're all doing tonight. So yeah.
Amazing, Suzanne. All right, Joe, let's go to you now. My apologies earlier for my enunciation that may have confused you. And let's get you to find your mute button. There you go.
That may have not been you. That may have been my ears. They do that sometimes.
So what's your
Now,
question for Suzanne?
probably some guidance because that's already happened. I was in a summit on Tuesday, and what bubbled up, totally unplanned. Matter of fact, I wasn't going to do it. Something I've known's been coming. What I knew was a core linchpin for me from 2 years old, and I just spit it out. And within 15 minutes, what was happening, it was like I was tapped into the Akash. I was watching that particular incident that I had very little memories of, a full replay.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
But the replay wasn't the same as what little memories I had. It was like it was being totally rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have that memory now and the memories before of how I planned it
Oh, wow.
Wow. So what's your question
before
for
I
Suzanne?
ever got here.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's your question for Suzanne?
Where do I go from here? Where do I go from here? Every couple of hours, I'm having to ask because as I step through it with where I've been, I'm going, well, that perception doesn't work anymore.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of having to stop and ask, who am I?
Mhm.
It's like
Well,
it feels really clean and really empty. It's like I haven't lost any of that, but yet the perceptions are askew.
yeah. So,
All the abandonment that happened in that incident, it's not there anymore.
mhm. So Joe, as you're talking, right when you started, Archangel Metatron came in with Metatron's cube, and like many or all of us, you're in this time of realigning, but you're getting a um whatever that was, the guides often use this word adjudication. You're getting an adjudication, which is what happens when the judge hits the gavel, that it's time for you, not just to move on, but like you're coming into a very transcendent place. So he is saying work, like commune with Metatron. Um, just like in the story, I mean, this is wild, but just like in the story in the Bible where I think it was Enoch, he was Enoch before he ascended. There's something powerful with that happening, with you. And so not this, not the end of your life by any means, but like he's just calling to you, and maybe you feel that, and so let that into your heart. And I'm just seeing you like really meditating with Metatron the next days, because there's something fascinating that's going to happen with your consciousness, because that's why you're asking the question, who am I? And a lot of us are too. That's a good question for all of us. But yeah, go with Metatron. I trust that you sense him. I know you're very adept. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. And I'd like to add to that because, again, the energies that are coming through, they're powerful. And I
Transformative.
and I saying that with emphasis, but they're also guiding us into not just the remembering, but an embodiment of the action that we have the capacity to be in right now, being that power. We are being called up. And so the contemplation of who am I and who am I becoming, and the calling for me is very strongly, it's like, you know who you're becoming. Take your seat on the mantle.
Mhm.
And to
Yeah,
hold that instead of being in contemplation of where am I going, it's like, no, know where you're going and be guided by that. To play small is no longer an option. As much work that you have done, your calling is to awaken, not to pretend that you're still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And Suzanne, please, you were going to add to that.
Yeah, even saying, I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I know who I am. I know what I do. I know who I serve. I know what I'm all about. Yeah, that does bring it into the now moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
love
that.
this.
Mhm.
And Isis does not mess around. Isis is strong. That energy, I can feel her on this call, just calling us up. Like,
Stand up straight, right? I think that's why she's
yes,
here so tall over us. Like, come on,
wow,
sit up straight. Yeah, actually, I just got that. Mhm.
beautiful. Joe, thank you
And
for
I'm
bringing
going to
it.
jump in here. I'm going to jump in here and say that feels exactly right.
Mhm.
It's dead on the money.
It's alive on the money, Joe. It's
Yeah.
alive on the money.
Thank you.
All money. It's all money.
Cash money, Joe, cash money. All right, let's continue here. Joe, thank you so much. Nancy, let's go to you. Welcome to the call. And y'all, we're going to get through a lot of Q&A, so I promise I'm going to get through as much as I can. But Nancy, I'm guided to go to you now. Welcome.
Thank you so much. John, I've been a big fan of your show for a long time.
Oh, awesome.
And just, you know how much I love you and the
Mhm.
work that you do. I've been doing vocal sound healings now for about a year and a half. I was called to do that, kind of put my crystal bowls away and was told to just use my voice instead. And what I've been called to work with people lately is the Maharic Shield in creating that cylinder type protective higher frequency energy to build around them. So my question is, I love Mother Mary and I love Quan Yin both. I'm curious about who works with me more with this. And the other part of my question is, I'm very clairaudient, so I hear sounds to emit, and I've also been called to use the solfeggio frequencies using my voice. And I'm just curious what is more effective with people to use with do I go with my intuition more with the sounds that I hear and then just emit that? But I've also found that the solfeggio frequencies and then using my voice to emulate that hertz frequency is also super powerful. So I hope that was clear what my question was.
So who do you work with? But the second question would be, can you say it a little more concisely, like which? Yeah.
So Mother Mary, either Mother Mary or Quan Yin. I'm curious to know who works with me more closely
And the
with
second
the frequencies, with the vocal frequencies, to create the Maharic Shield, to help create the Maharic Shield for people. So is it my intuitive? Do I use my intuition more? Or the solfeggio frequencies more?
Okay. So we're going to do a little energy with you just quickly to recenter you. It's sort of like they want you to come from leaning on them so much into a little more self-embodiment that you're doing it. Frankly, like so much of this, Nancy, is actually you. And so let these energies, they're adjusting you kind of up and down with your source, because there's a call for that. So while you do work with, I see Quan Yin mostly for you with that. She's very, yes, I get a yes on that. That's answers that question. However, they want you to come, like my head is tilted because like come from listening to them or anticipating them, you have like your own magic that is ready to pop out. And so it's much more the question like, I know who I am. I'm letting my big heart burst open because I can't even answer the other question. That's why I couldn't understand it. It's like you have like a calling card that's very unique with all these frequencies. And so it's just time. So what we're saying to everyone, like sitting on your throne straight up, Isis, go now, have a chat with Isis about aligning in your Akash with your deepest source codes for your sound healing. That's what's called for. And I'm sure if you want to do a session with a package, we could assist with that. So it's less, yeah. Is that clear? Yeah, it's all you.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Oh, so powerful. Quan Yin was coming in so strongly. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So profoundly. And I would suggest pull up Kuan Yin and find her mantra and practice with the mantra on a daily basis. The Kuan Yin mantra, vocalize it, put it in a song. In the session with Suzanne, go deep in it because there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Amazing work, Nancy. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll attune you to like your higher self, high frequency in that session too.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
April or Chris, one of y'all, will you put the link for the special offer in the chat box? There it is. Y'all, I want to get into the special offer because it's an amazing opportunity to work with Suzanne one-on-one in session. We'll get into some more Q&A afterwards, and there's so much that's coming through in the transmission. But I know it's going to come in the transmission of the special offer as well. And I want you all to get excited about the opportunity to be in a resonant field of that expansion. But yet that heart anchoring that's taking place simultaneously. And I've been working with Suzanne. We've been spending some time together, and what's expanding and anchoring in that together, I've been feeling profoundly. And what Suzanne does also is like there's this awareness of rising up to something else that's available to you that maybe you haven't dared to touch. And it's not that she's pulling it out. It's just that you can't help but to show up in that. So again, it's quite potent. Y'all click on the link for the special offer. It's in the chat box. If you don't find it there, it's highlighted in blue. Open up a new tab and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Suzanne33, and it'll take you to that same page. And Suzanne, let everybody know the gift of the sessions and these other immersions that you're offering for this incredible price.
Yes, thank you. I love doing sessions, and they're this call is a lot like it. It's even if it's mostly talk with me, there's always a shift within your Akashic records. There's always an alignment with what is next for you, is how I would put it. And my work with the guides, like we want you to be your best self, no matter what. And we want you to be knowing how free you are to speak for yourself and to show up for yourself. So they're a combination of energy clearing and aligning with, frankly, like in the Akash, other lifetimes where you've done these kinds of things like sound healing. That happens kind of often. But also just what do you need for the confidence to show up? Because as you saw, Isis showed up right away, like, come on, back straight, spine straight, but also soften. And so it's just a mix. It's a mix of activations and awareness to help come into what's next for you. And then the other thing is that besides the readings, well, yeah, okay, thanks for showing that. Then I host Thursday calls, and I've done this for years. And those are similar to this call today. They're open, they're channeled. There's always channeled frequencies and channeling of the masters we work with, and Q&A. And so you get that for free for 2 months, because I just want you to take what comes from the session and be able to integrate it and have time to discuss. And so it's a pretty robust offering, I must admit.
Oh, and and then the full access to the recordings.
And the library, in the Alexandria Library, all the recordings.
Jill, yes. As Jill called it, she wants to call you Alexandria, and there it is.
You have your own password to your own Alexandria Library.
With over 50 sacred and inspiring transmissions. So there's a library of transmissions that are in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really powerful. Oh, and I do want to say the fun thing too, after my last call with you, John, I'm pretty sure I told you this, the next Thursday, I think the next day was Thursday, and I was just doing my usual thing, and Metatron popped in at the last 5 minutes, and this just came through like, hey, everyone, we're going to start a masterclass with all you BTO people who've just joined.
I remember that.
It was like the next, I think, 9 weeks, all on manifestation with the guides. So that's part of the library. And then we just did a one on worthiness, a masterclass on worthiness. So I wouldn't be surprised if another masterclass starts next Thursday. We'll see. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love about you. You're so following just the flow of what's coming up, and you show up and you give so generously. But again, we're in this together. We're expanding this together. We're anchoring together. We're demonstrating to each other. We're mirroring to each other who we are.
Yes. Yeah, we're co-creating all of it, right? Yeah. We show up for each other and then it happens.
Y'all, all of this is for $147. And again, the sessions with Suzanne, look what's coming through here. Wow. 2 payment option on that. I hope y'all take advantage of it and dive deeper with Suzanne of Alexandria.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
No word of a lie.
Donna's asking how long they have to access the recordings in the library.
For those 2 months, like it's 2 months. 2 months of the library, yeah.
All right,
and
fantastic.
Subscribe after that, yeah.
All right, let's continue with more live callers. And Dragana, let's go to you. Welcome. And find your microphone if you can unmute it there.
Hi. I was just trying to, I was on the other side trying to actually get the package.
Oh, okay.
Hi, John. So nice to be here. Okay, so today I had an amazing day. I did so much and everything was flowing and going the best possible way. Very special day today. Anyway, so what would be something, I like Jill's question, and very similar question would be mine. What am I ready to release that it's kind of blocking me and stopping me?
So with Mary Magdalene for you, Dragana, it's not what you're ready to release, it's what you're ready to receive. So if you could go into tonight, starting with tonight, and we'll do a session, use this time together, but start now. I mean, it can happen right now where you so your heart, I'm just seeing a beautiful lotus blossom. It's already open, but what is your heart's desire? It's like coming into touch with your passion, your heart's deepest desire is what the Magdalene will guide you with as you commune with her, letting your heart. So we're suggesting tapping down, tuning down into your heart, going into your heart and saying, heart, like have conversations with your heart. What is it I'm here for next? What can I receive? And being in that energy of like, I'm so excited to receive my heart's desires too. So there's really not like a lot, not clearing that you need to focus on. You focus on, I am so excited to let really bask in my heart's desire. I don't know what it is, but that's what's calling from your soul, your true self.
Just hearing
Beautiful.
that, it's exciting.
Beautiful.
It's like,
Then,
yeah, it's, thank you.
yeah,
Thank
so
you.
wake up tomorrow and start saying that too. Like, oh, I can't wait to fall in love with that. I think I know, or be in that energy like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's elusive to me what is that real passion, but I have no doubts that there is something. So I'm just waiting for that to open.
Well, yeah. So don't say it's elusive, and also don't just wait, but actively call it, like speak it, like the words that I'm saying. I can't wait to know it. I'm in my heart now. Heart, what's calling? Okay, not just waiting. It's very active in that way, in your mind talk, the conversation.
Exactly. Power of words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you
Suzanne,
so
it's
much.
wonderful to see you.
You're welcome.
Bye, blessings.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You're beautiful, and your words are
Ah,
beautiful. Thank you.
beautiful. Okay, let's continue. Eileen, let's go to you. Welcome.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi. Wow. I feel like it's been a long time, but it really hasn't, but it just feels that way.
Mhm.
What is, I'm feeling like I'm shedding a layer of skin. That's how it feels. And with the passing of my best friend, so much has happened. I mean, I wrote this beautiful song that I felt like we wrote together. And now I'm writing a book, taking myself through the whole process of where I was and where I am. So I guess my question really is, I'm in the process of shedding this layer. So where is it going?
Mm-hmm. Where am I going though? So, okay. Archangel Michael comes to you, Eileen, and with great respect and great admiration. So when you are when you are teaching these new processes to yourself, you are guided to start creatively envisioning how you'll teach this to others. This is new for our work together, but your greatest calling next could be teaching the processes that you've been learning. So it's not so much like the meaning of the songs or the book, but sharing this process. So if you would sink into your core, your heart, your intuition, and know more about what has transpired with the process, you actually have quite a treasure trove of with some wisdom to share with others that could become quite gratifying for you and also quite useful. And that I feel like that could also go into your book too. The process that you've gone. So, you're talking about shedding a skin, the process of intuiting how to do what you've been doing it's like there's some gold there that you are guided to think creatively. What am I going to teach? And then the how will happen is what I'm getting. And tune into Archangel Michael with that. He's right here with you. Like he's your overlight. He's your overlight archangel.
And I do want to thank you for helping me to really walk her to the light.
Mhm.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's with me. She's
Yeah.
just in a different form.
Yeah, it was a beautiful process. It's always such a blessing to walk with someone who's transitioning. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Eileen. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you, John.
Mhm. Okay, let's continue here. Rochelle, welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you so much. This has been exciting to hear. I have been working on releasing many things, but the word that keeps coming is receiving. And so I'm just wondering if there's some next steps to receiving even deeper. And I'm sure it's taking your class and working with you. Just wonder if there's anything more that I should know.
Okay. Next steps to receiving for Rochelle. So it's kind of funny, the guides move around. So I work with also the council. There's a whole council that comes through this gold portal, and suddenly they're here. And the Council of Love, they used to be love, now it's also harmonization. So Rochelle, this is great. Like they're all saying, work with us, work with us. So this council is part of your like wants to be part of your transcendent experience next. And so the first thing would be to start to connect with them, pray them in when you're meditating, because you're like they have a lot of information about your lineage, and that's something to do with your skill set. So they're showing a bunch of packages, like attuning yourself deep within to your intuitive gifts is really the focus, because you're meant to be sharing that. That's what they're saying. You're meant to be sharing that. And I don't know if you can feel it right down your center in the front. There's like an anchoring in right now of your own divinity codes through them. So they're already just working with you in that way, but focusing on being a light worker, like that would be like the larger thing of it. And they're going to open that with you.
Still in this life, I can feel actually just to my arms or something. It's very interesting. In this lifetime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still, okay. And I'm a teacher, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting out of the public education. Just, it's been the throat chakra. Just, can I speak all of that in this platform, or does it need to be elsewhere, or is it both? So yeah.
Yeah, but both
Okay.
for sure. Like open to the gifting,
Yep.
and it'll be shown. Like,
Yep.
In my opinion, we need light workers everywhere. So it doesn't matter your profession. There's a psychic ability that really is coming into fruition. Whew.
Yes. Thank you.
Beautiful,
And
Rochelle.
Thank you.
Yeah, Suzanne.
I just want to say, this is like a diamond energy going through your throat. Like it's clearing that channel down into your heart.
So that I'm not afraid to speak, maybe?
Well, sure. But also so that open, don't be afraid, but to open. Welcome the open. Welcome the
Okay.
Yeah. And that's really alignment with what I was going to say also. Think of the energies coming in again. You talked about receiving, which by the way, is a huge initiation. We take being open to receiving as something that we're automatically are supposed to know how to do. And for some of us who are empaths, are so careful or have learned to walk on the eggshells in this lifetime, or others, so that we wouldn't harm others or others wouldn't harm us with our words, our actions, our thoughts, the manipulation of energy that we're capable of. But as the energies are coming in for all of us, to really sit with allowing our body to receive it. It's like someone gives you a compliment. My God, you're so beautiful. Or you're so amazing. So many of us are so quick to, oh, thank you so much, and so are you. It's like the calling is really to allow it to penetrate and to sit with you for a while in that receptivity, because the calling to being a light worker, as it resonates towards you, the diamond activation, crystalline activation that's happening through you, it requires you being able to hold it. And as you can fill yourself with the capacity of that light, which is stretching us. The contraction isn't what's stretching us. This holding the light is what's stretching us right now. And in that, whatever just doesn't serve is just kind of going away, and we're learning how to be with it. But to be able to breathe that in and hold that breath for a while so that we can assimilate, so that we can receive its goodness, so that we can receive its benefits. Because how do we know what we're giving to someone else unless we know the benefits that we receive from it? So allow the glory to awaken within you. And then from that, the beacon that you can be can't be extinguished because you own it. It has become one with you. So receive, receive, receive. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
John,
receiving.
that was really beautiful. That is how it is now, isn't it? It's but not so long ago, in one of my channelings, they said, can you receive this much light? Are you willing to receive and be this much light? And talk about these core source codes that are lighting us up from in our very marrow and in our very core. It's real, and it's the kind of energy that that heals instantaneously, and that transcends very broadly, and that has been prophesied. And it's it is it's beautiful, and we're all being adjusted according to this greater purpose for our walking here, no matter what we do.
Amazing. Rochelle, blessings to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being a teacher, and thank you for choosing to explore what else that means, and then how you get to do that. What a blessing. Okay, Jeanette, I can't see you on video, but I'd love to hear from you. If I can get you to unmute and ask Suzanne your question.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that my camera will not
No
come up.
worries. Yeah.
Right. I'm stepping into life and just following the invitation of change. My mother passed away at the end of December, and I bought her home. So my business is in Southern Arizona, and her home is in Northern Arizona. And I'm just wondering if there's any guides that could help with the dance between getting rid of her stuff and letting go. And I've done a lot of that, but there's more for me to fit in her house and to fully embody it and move on with my life. And it's not rushing, and it's also not indulging or holding back. So do I have a specific message or guide that I can turn to in the moments of what feels so real, to like hold on and then no, let go? I hope that makes sense.
You have many, and who steps to the forefront is Quan. And so take a moment to assimilate to her light. She wants you to know in this moment more than just her name, but the feel of her energy, and perhaps I think you might be seeing some color. And that feels like it's helping you to ground, to calm. Yeah, she's with you always. You have also, Jeanette, worked with her in many incarnations. Like you have a very deep soul connection with her, which helps perhaps for this to feel like home. And so aside from what you said, that's a beautiful, and I honor the process of what you're going through. That's a big thing with a parent. So taking your time, letting it be what it is it's a process and it's beautiful. While you're doing that, she's calling you to a new homecoming in yourself. So with each passing day that you have to make a lot of decisions, those are almost just on the periphery of what's going to happen internally as you come home. She wants you to focus on coming home to like we're talking about, to be the vessel of the divine love that you. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Absolutely. It's a remembering that you've evoked, and the color purple was coming up. So yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got that, and you are invited to deeply commune with her in a lot of ways.
Thank you. Really rich.
Blessings to you. Thank you for coming on,
John.
All right, let's continue. Sarah, welcome to the call.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Suzanne. Now, we had a session a number of months ago in the last offer, and it was truly miraculous. It affected some healing for a family member that you really couldn't have. You wouldn't be able to say it to normal people and they wouldn't understand. So it was amazing. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that and reminding me. That was beautiful.
Yeah. So it's starting to sort of, the healing is starting to sort of dissolve. So I'm wondering what messages I have for now, and I'll certainly be booking in another session, but what if there's anything for today would be wonderful.
With respect to that relationship?
Whatever comes in, but yeah, probably that, because that's what's been challenging over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's been blocking me, so it will probably come in.
So again, I'm seeing you surrounded by Metatron's cube, and there's like a clearing around your around you with Metatron's cube, which happens sometimes. So that's okay. So with all of your relationships, that one is perhaps the one rearing its head, but with all of your relationships, Sarah, there's a quickening as you're as you are learning to illumine yourself, like we're talking about. Illuminate yourself, but illumine yourself as the beacon of Sophia Christ consciousness. It's more than just that one relationship, because you're there's a proposed action for you to sort of like break out of the old mold, because you're a luminary yourself, and you're a sharer, you're a wisdom keeper and bringer. And so what they're showing me that you're experiencing is more than just that person. It's more like the old you is like no longer it's like, I mean, it sounds harsh, but no longer welcome at the table. Then, like, we love her, but the new you, there's kind of like this little battle. Like, let the true you soul, there's a better word for it, like the true you come out from hiding. And that is like knowing that, I mean, you're listening to these shows, you're very adept, and just become that. Because when you've just become that and allow yourself to be naturally this way shower, there won't be all that static. So it's an inside job. Let yourself be free of, you don't have to talk to those people about what we talk about, but you do need to know who you are.
Mm.
And even when you're at the table with them, you're talking about the news, but you know who you are. Kind of like, don't belittle this part of you. Don't put it aside. Does that
And
make
because that's what affected the healing for my son. So when I was
Oh,
in my power,
okay.
that's what happened. Yeah. So
Yes. Yes.
thank
Okay.
you.
More
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Welcome that part of you out to the table on your throne, as John said. Yeah.
Beautiful, Sarah. And Sarah, you're reminding me, and would you agree, Suzanne, again, that these challenges that, again, they're stretching us,
Mhm.
but also we can be aware that they're challenging, but also be aware that they're expanding us. We're really being called into more of that authority that just, I can't say it any otherwise, that power, the authority, the regalness that we truly be. So embrace the challenge and know that it's not taking you somewhere just so that you can experience hell. It's taking you somewhere so that you can experience something more in alignment with the light that you're bringing, the light that you're refining within yourself.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, John, because the what I'm seeing now, it's even more imperative. Like, we're talking about a lot of kind of radical switches.
Mhm.
And one way I like to describe that is like, well, I live in heaven on earth, or you could say it a lot of ways. And I live in heaven on earth, and that can't be in my heaven, that old pattern, or that old part of, that old way, that old skin. So it's kind of pretty obvious now when we have something like judgment or anything that's not, coherent with who we really are. It's painful. Like, for me, I just came to a big realization, like, any judgment is way too painful. I don't have to like anything, but I have some deep judgment still. And it was causing me so much pain. And then I got to release it. And then I realized, holy cow, it's time to just let that stuff go.
Mhm. It's creating pain, it's creating confusion, it's creating us not being in our body, it's creating anxiety, and and whenever that gets created, it's like, oh, let me pause. Okay, it's uncomfortable, but what am I creating in this? And let me just, with the different tools, awarenesses, or connecting into a group container like this, just let me come back to balance within myself, and let me call in the guidance of the Christ energy, Magdalene, Isis, Quan, whoever you feel in alignment with. Call upon them also to help you attune. We're not meant to go through this confusion alone. And just remember that you didn't create that confusion. You were taught that confusion, and we're disentangling it. We're disentangling it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we realize we don't have to have it, and we're empowered to sometimes have to figure it out. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's a bit of a process.
Yeah. I understand the process, Sarah, intimately. But don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, and blessings, and have a great session with Suzanne. Y'all, the link for the special offer, Suzanne, the library, the group calls, and of course the 60 minutes that you get with Suzanne. It's the links in the chat box. You can find it again by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Suzanne33, or anytime beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. You'll always be able to find the offers there as well. And y'all take advantage of this. So much beauty is coming through. Suzanne, are you guided to do a group process? Someone was asking, or should we continue more of the one-on-ones? And I get that they're both fine, because I'm getting so much just individually from the calls anyway. What's calling your energy?
I think that I've seen the hands of Yale and Sheena up. If we could we do those and then kind of end with something is what
Yeah,
I
we're
want.
gonna end it straight at the half-hour mark.
Okay.
Because the energy is calling for that. But Yael's was calling me as well. So Yael, let's go to you. Yeah. And yeah, will you find your unmute button on your computer? There you go.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot. It's a great opening for me. I tried to reach out, but somehow it doesn't go through. And listening to you, there's an opening, and I'm grateful for both of you. So the last 2 years, I'm going through an extreme process of change, shading off and transforming, yet don't see the end of it. And it's like almost screaming to the skies, like when is the end of it? And yet it's not the right question, because I'm in a process and it's such a blessing in the direction, but it's like as if I'm taking lives upon lives that I accumulate and I'm just shedding off and off. It's like, obviously I'm strong enough to do it. But it's a lot. And like my children, also I see them in, especially one of the two, in a heavy process, and I feel it belongs to me. And when a child is in pain, this is unbearable. So I'm asking, is there any message, anything that I can hear at this moment?
Yes, yeah. I want to honor your question because I've been there and in and out of that place. And this is what comes. This is also where I found the greatest freedom, that the shedding might never end, but what you can do is choose really a radical acceptance of a new beginning right now. It is so much in our power to like stop the endless cycle and decree that I am in a time of creation. Those are the words that come. If you'd start to say that, I'm in a time of creation, like we've been speaking, the expansion then will naturally do the shedding. So it's like tipping the balance from constant struggle and suffering, which I know very well, to wait a minute. Life is too short. I am here to co-create. So honing in on the thing that you are moving towards, that you really want, that you are really here to create, like what all this we're talking about, it can be done now. And then the shedding will happen, but sort of like from time, kind of like on the side. We're not here to suffer. And while some of us are releasing an inordinate amount, it's still like live your life and keep the creator in you going. I think, for instance, if we were to do a session, it would be focused on your creation energy, so that you can open that. So you could pray for that, or call it in, and give up. This is kind of where also there's a conversation with God and with the divine, with your higher self, like enough. If that's to be shed, fine, but I also am here to create and receive. So I think, that's something we could all perhaps benefit from, but that's for you, Yale, with the ability to switch it right now.
You mean just a middle of a decision? Just
So there's that yes.
And I can share with you an initiation for me, Yael, seeing one of my child suffering as well. And part of all of our initiations as parents, really as human beings, is that there is an energy of hopelessness that resides in all of us. And in that, as parents, when there's nothing, when we know that there's nothing that we can do, no matter how much we try, to sit in the fire of hopelessness and to have faith. This is a calling of faith as a parent, because we have no control as to the outcome of our children, truly. We truly have to surrender our children to God. They're not ours, they're stewards for us to call forward. Have faith in your prayers. Have faith in the blessings that you hold for them, and ultimately have faith that they're guided as well as you are, and that they're on their own path. And to allow yourself to be in the hopelessness of it. It's chaotic. It's an endless abyss. But it is an initiation into a deep level of faith that's taking you perhaps somewhere that you've never been. It's hard. It's not easy. And my blessings and my heart goes out to you. But from my perspective, I'm aware of aspects based on my own personal experience and can resonate with some of your heartbreak that you're feeling. And again, hopelessness. Just to even name the hopelessness is healing within itself.
Yeah. I find also, helpful to remember our children have their own paths, even that's the other thing that brings me back to center. Like sometimes suffering is part of the plan, and to allow that is not easy, and yet it's the call to walk with them, basically.
Blessings to you, y'all. Thank you so much. Blessings to your children, to your family, to your hearts. And again, remember the authority that you have through your blessings, through your love in others, and hold that strong. Hold that strong. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Y'all, I don't think we're going to get into a transmission. I apologize, but the transmission's coming through. But Sheena, we do want to go to you. So welcome to the call, and I'm sure we'll get the transmission there.
Thank you. I'll try really hard to be fast.
No worries. It's well, we want to honor what's coming through.
I have been extremely drained and sort of out of energy, but at the same time, I feel like I have this big ball of like fire, power, energy inside of me, and I'm struggling to figure out how to release it, open it, let it go, like shine the light or bring in the light. And really, that's kind of where I'm at on my path. Like it's there, I feel it. I just don't know how to let it out. And use it to create and to be.
Yeah. Beautiful, Sheena. I mean, John just kind of said it. If all who are here want to receive like that, there's a Sophia. Let me see. So this is particular to you, Sheena, but this creator goddess energy is what's here for all of us now. So as you open, you're guided to open, well, really open to Sophia, goddess, really open. And what's ready for you to do, Sheena, is like this inner merging with your higher self and your body and your creation energy and creator space, womb space, and start to ground that in here on earth. Like it's kind of like you are bringing through this powerful creatrix version of you. Actually, let that come in, like embody her. And it's very much like, I just see like a lot of Greek or and Egyptian energy with those versions of you that have been this fully so that's, hopefully you're feeling a little assistance with that from the guides, and grounding in your, I hope that makes sense. You're grounding it in and you just got some assistance. And I think for everyone, hopefully the energy opened up to assimilate you, whatever's been happening throughout our call, to kind of refine and let it come to conclusion at the conclusion of our call. But you're anchored in, you've just anchored in everyone a new form of life within yourself. So we didn't really need to do that transmission. It's happened.
I love that. I really appreciate that you brought that in, Sheena and Suzanne. I wanted to call you Alexandria now. It's like in the field.
You feel free. Always.
It's totally in the field. But I feel what you're sharing, Suzanne, so profoundly. Sheena, I get it. I so get it. And I'm in that energy as well. And it's going to continue. And from eclipse season to eclipse season, it's really powerful. We might have a little break, and I feel like it'll open up again. But again, being in community to kind of anchor in. I reach out to people like Suzanne. I'll reach out. It's like, hey, can you assist me? This is what I'm going through. We compare notes. We hold each other. The support, we're not meant to do this alone. Really powerful. So when you don't know, do know that you can drop into an environment that can support your not knowing. Part of us is not supposed to know because we're creating new, but the confusion of it can be really not a lot of fun. And more power to you. I see you in what you're doing, and congratulations and thank you.
Yeah. Powerful.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. Amazing. Y'all, session with Suzanne, the library, the recordings, the going in deeper. I like co-creating with Suzanne. That's why I'm chiming in so much, because I have a lot of fun with it and I can.
I do too, Quan, and you're someone I reach out to. So thank you for being that for lots of us.
Yeah. But again, the depth, the intimacy of being in that container with Suzanne, and what comes through the Magdalene, through Isis, through the guides, through Green Tara, through so many divine beings who are right there, willing and ready. If only we ask and lean in. So again, I hope you all take advantage of the special offer. Come back and listen to the replay. And with that, Suzanne, thank you so much. What an amazing, beautiful, potent call. Wow.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And thank you, everyone. I love you all. And may you reap many blessings from all of this and carry it on.
Absolutely.
Big freedom energy is what I feel.
Beautiful. Blessings to each and every one of you. Namaste. I see you. And I look forward to seeing you on the next call. Bye, y'all.